Welcome, I'll be reacting to Robin of Sherwood, Season 1, Episode 4. This is a commentary, it is not a market substitute. Please support the original, currently on BritBox. Hide! Ooh, I love that shot right there! Did you see that? What they saw through the helm? That was so cool! Well done, director. I also appreciate how worn their white cloaks were. They were definitely dirty, not pristine. I didn't count them before, there must be 7. Although, shouldn't there be 9 riders? Wait a minute. Where's your helmet padding? There is no way he would have worn that helm without a quilted cover for his head. I've worn helms like that. I used to own one. And trust me, you put that on first and then the helm.
A mile off.
Close.
Oh, come on! He should have been able to get that.
Now,
Imagine it's Gisborne.
well, the more he stirs it up, the more they'll turn to us.
Excellent points, Robin.
I mean,
Come on, Marion, you've got this.
You'll get too big for your boots, you will. Then I'll get bigger boots.
Ah.
All right, then.
Don't feel bad. I'm also terrible at archery. It's not as easy as it looks.
Look,
What do you do, Sherwood?
I'm a peddler.
Yes, well, the Nottingham Road's that way.
Oh, we got a helm shot again.
If you're stopped.
And the breathing. The sound design is good too.
Make for the clearing!
You don't want to go for the clearing. You want to go somewhere with lots of underbrush where it will make it difficult for their horses and they'll have to dismount. The clearing gives the knights the advantage. You need to start attacking the horses. I hate to say this because they're so beautiful, but that's your best plan right now. Start shooting the horses. This is probably really hard for Nasir too because yeah, he has a personal vendetta against the Templars, I'm sure, for good reason. There you go. Gotta start getting them off their horses.
Robin, they'll kill him! They'd have killed him in front of us!
It's true.
He's a hostage.
Killing for Christ, they call it.
Well, I feel like out of all of them, Much is probably still Christian, so that could work to his advantage.
Soll ich den kleinen Schwein töten?
Non, pas encore. Les autres scélérats viendront peut-être le chercher, il pourrait nous être encore utile.
Such a bore having to trot around the Shire every year. But we're not going to fill the coffers by sitting at home in Nottingham, are we?
What the devil's that?
Oh, they didn't know. This should be interesting.
I'm High Sheriff of Nottingham, and I represent the King.
And I, the King of Kings.
Ah, yes, of course.
Oh dear.
But I'd still like to know what you're doing in this village.
I trust that...
I'm telling you to move on.
That is not wise, Gisborne. You're not anywhere near ready to take on Templars.
But more money's on the Templars.
Mine too.
Put your sword away. But my lord. Do it, Gisborne! I want that villain. He's mine.
Vous ne l'aurez pas, c'est mon prisonnier.
My lord, are you going to... Be quiet, man!
Just get back on your horse and stop making an exhibition of yourself.
It's true. Let's just leave and let the Templars deal with all this mess. I'm impressed by the sheriff here. He knows what's really going on. And Gisborne, you need to keep up on the news. You don't mess with these folks. I mean, people did later, but that's a whole nother story.
I've seen them at work. They won't stop until every one of them is dead. Tuck, Marion, the lot. And that saves you time, money, and soldiers.
I really do like how the sheriff is clearly quite clever in this version. He's not just evil.
Agnus Dei quitolis peccata mundi misere nobis.
I remember the first time I had to lead one of these. It was so stressful. Because it's one thing when you're doing the response and you can kind of take a cue off the other people. But when you're the one doing the cantor part, you have to get it right or people will judge you. And of course, the first time I did it was in front of like 100 people from all these different orders. Terrifying. Said no meaning, said no meaning. To dark glory we are. Robin, you've been training, but not that hard. You're not gonna win this.
Who did you steal this from? Where are the others come?
I love whoever directed this. Really interesting camera angles.
We shall get it back, I promise you. Where is it now with the others? And prove it fairly. Put you on trial. Trial by battle.
Of course. Yes, but trial by combat doesn't always go well for Templars, as any Ivanhoe fan knows. You know, one technique is to make him tire himself out. Or you could go for their legs, possibly. Then they couldn't run as well. Like feint high and then go low. Robin, start using your shield more for offense, not just defense. Start shield bashing. Get him in the head, he doesn't have his helm on. He's getting tired, it's not good. Now you're getting it. Start using your shield. There, yes. Oh, no! Hey! Do you have any idea how long it took to make all those?
The symbol of the Templars. 2 poor knights sharing a horse. They've come a long way since then. How did you lose that eye?
On your orders.
For thieving. Now you're going to lose the other one.
Can't do that to me.
Pretty sure he can and he will.
They'll be expelled from the Templars.
Expelled.
Oh dear.
The real joke, Gisborne,
They think Robin Hood took
is that
it.
they're going to kill Robin Hood for it.
Question is, will Robin Hood be able to trace it back and maybe return it? Yes, please buy some of his pottery. He needs some income because he lost a bunch of his inventory.
Leaford Grange?
Yeah, so I'm told. You know it?
I should. I was born there.
What, Sir Richard's old place?
Looks like there's a storm coming.
How are you going to get through that? Again, with the interesting camera work of what you would see if you were actually there.
Gods!
Well, that's one way to distract them, yes.
Close those gates.
Oh no. They don't know he has it with him in bed. I mean, it was clever to send the Master Thief rogue character in, but it's not inside the chest. It's always the last key you try, isn't it? Oh no. Will they get back in time? I mean, this show is not squeamish about killing off characters. At least the townsfolk are trying.
They said you'd let me die. But
Never.
I knew you'd come. I knew you'd come.
Also, we didn't do it.
You have my sword.
Yours? You thief.
I would have told them where I found it with the sheriff. But at least Robin has his priorities straight. The sword is important, but much is more important. This is very dishonorable of them. But Robin planned for it.
That's here! No!
I know. The seer's just like, yeah, let's go for it.
That'll pay the village tithes and taxes.
Robin!
Go on, melt it down.
They could have kept that, ridden off back to Lincoln, but no. And Robin warned them. Evil to the one who thinks evil. Now they really are poor knights. That was a very satisfying ending. I really liked the message at the end of Robin offered them an out. If they had been willing to take back what was theirs, return his sword, and let them peacefully leave, they could have simply gone back and it was as if nothing had happened. But instead, they chose evil. Now, not all of them were bad. There were many Knights Templar who did some pretty awful stuff in the name of Christianity. That being said, I don't want to just completely brush them all like they behaved in this episode. Another thing that the Templars did, which is actually really cool, is they had an early banking system. If you were a traveler, a pilgrim, or whatever, and you had valuables, rather than trying to bring them with you throughout your travels and then getting robbed along the way, they set up a system where before you left on your trip, you would bring your valuables to the Templars. They would write up a very detailed description of what they were and what it was worth, and then you'd have the description with you. Then later, during your trip, let's say you need some money, you could bring this to the local Templars and say, "Hi, I would like to withdraw off of this list." And kind of, from what I understand, from what I've read, they would go, okay, here's your actual money to pay for that cool piece of pottery you wanted to go buy. And we've written it down. So when you go back to pick up your valuables in your hometown or the closest equivalent that had Templars, they'll give you back everything minus what you withdrew in this other country, which is basically kind of what we do now. You deposit your money into the bank, and then as you're traveling, you might visit another bank in another town and say, "I'm going to withdraw that, please." The problem was, it's also gave them a lot of control over finances and banking and stuff like that. Like we saw during the Middle Ages in general, people who became wealthy were targets. As a result, the people in power were like, this can't go on. That stuff should be mine, and came after the Templars. Now, I haven't read extensively about this. I have friends who know a lot more about this history. I just remember what I picked up when I was a nun and they talked about it. They concocted this trial of a bunch of Templars. It didn't really even go well. But anyway, they used it as an excuse to start accusing them of being heretics. And long story short, the entire order was disbanded. They mostly went and joined the Knights Hospitaller instead. Some people became the lay folk. A lot of them stayed in other military orders. But anyway, I think Robin here recognized Templars aren't automatically bad. They are automatically terrifying. And so the question is, are they fighting for you or are they going to fight against you? Like, are they just here to help you out with your banking account, or are they here to burn down your village and kill everyone you love? Who knows? And that's why he gave them that choice at the end. Are you honorable or not? So I came out of this episode with an increased respect for Robin and also the sheriff.